Today we're making jalapeno poppers. You might want some gloves for this one. There are a lot of different variations of a jalapeno popper recipe out there, and I wanted to share with you guys one of the easiest ones that I found because jalapeno poppers are an appetizer, and usually with an appetizer that means you're feeding a group of people, and I want you to spend as little time in the kitchen as you need to prepping food. So for this recipe, I'm cutting it in half. You're going to need bacon, cream cheese, some cheddar cheese, this is optional, and 10 small jalapenos. My oven is preheated to 275, and I have a large cookie sheet lined with foil. The recipe says to put a baking rack on top of it, a wire baking rack, but I don't have one of those. So if you have one, put it on top. If not, we'll still make it work. First, I'm gonna take my bacon, and this is a 12-ounce package, and I only need 8 ounces. And cut those in half widthwise. So if you know hot dog style or hamburger style, cut in half hamburger style. And set those aside. Now get yourself a spoon, and we're going to take our jalapeno and cut it down the middle lengthwise. If I didn't explain why we're wearing gloves, it's because the white membrane and the seeds are the spicy part, and I don't want to touch those with my hands, and you may not either, especially if you're a contact wearer, because if you don't get all of the spicy juice off your hands and you touch your eyeball later, it's not going to be the most pleasant experience. So if you want your jalapeno poppers spicy, leave in some of the white membrane, some of the seeds. We're also going to cut the stem off because no one wants to eat the stem. And then go on in with your spoon. This isn't as easy as the recipe made it sound. You may have to do some cutting of the membrane, but scrape it out. And then once you've de-spined your jalapenos, just set those aside. And repeat for the rest of your 10 or 20, however many you make. I kind of got the trick about it. So if you use your spoon and you kind of cut the membrane away from the side first, and then you take your spoon at where you cut the stem off, and then you just guide the spoon along the bottom, and it lifts away the membrane. Ta-da! I don't recommend doing this kind of scraping because you get a lot of juice squirts and you don't want that going into your eyeball. Again, you can leave in as many or as few seeds and spines as you want. If you want them to be hot, leave as much as you want. If you want them as mild as possible, scrape out all the seeds and all the white membrane. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep one hand gloved. Our next step is to take our 8 ounces of cream cheese, and you want this softened. Mine's at room temperature. We're going to take some and smear it into our jalapeno. I don't know how easy this is supposed to go, but you can put as much or as little cream cheese in there as you want. I'm going to make mine about level with, I'm basically gonna fill up my jalapeno boat. I don't know if you need your gloves on at this point, but I'm not taking any chances. I'm trying to get as little cream cheese on the outside of the jalapeno as I can, but it's okay if you do get some on the outside of your jalapeno. I find it easier if you have the tip of the jalapeno towards your palm and the stem cut off end at your fingertips. And you take your cream cheese and you put it inside your jalapeno boat and you bring it towards the tip of it and then you push it away. That seems to be easier. Even if you aren't worried about your hand getting spicy juice on it, I recommend keeping a glove on because the cream cheese gets a little messy. Next step is bacon wrapping. I'm gonna put another glove on for these. If you guys don't know where to find gloves, you may be able to find them at your grocery store, definitely at your hardware store, or I'll put a link down below on where you can buy them on Amazon. So for each jalapeno, you're going to take a half slice of bacon and wrap it up. I'm going to do a little bit of a swirl wrap, And now you're supposed to put a toothpick through these. I don't have enough toothpicks, so the ends of my bacon are going to go on the bottom. It may not be perfect, but that's okay. Maybe I do want my bacon to end on top. Now, the reason it's nice to have a wire rack to set these on your cookie sheet is so that your bacon gets nice and crispy. It'll still be okay. You might get a little crispier with your rack, but I don't have a rack, so we're just gonna do with what we have. I'm a big fan of this bacon to jalapeno popper ratio. The last time I had these was at a New Year's Eve party, and they were really good. Like, I haven't had a lot of jalapeno poppers in my life, but these were the best out of like maybe the 2 other times I'd had them. But they just had bacon bits on top. There's so much more bacon on these. I'm so excited. This is not enough bacon. Well, it's a good thing I got more than half a pound. Okay, I wouldn't go by weight. You need as many slices of bacon as you have jalapenos, because you cut your jalapenos in half and you cut your bacon in half. Whew, thankful that I went with the larger pack of bacon. Thank you, Jesus. I don't get to eat extra bacon, but there's so much bacon on these, it's wild. Look at how thick this bacon is on this jalapeno popper. It's like the same amount of jalapeno as there's bacon, but I am here for it. I'm worried the bacon may open up as it crisps. Maybe I do need to end it on the bottom. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's do a quick little turnaround. Now at this point, you can just put your cheesed and your baconed jalapenos into a container and just put that in the fridge overnight. It's a great idea for prepping the day before your get together, your game, and then about an hour and a half or so before you want to serve your jalapeno poppers, just pop them in the oven. All right, these have to go in the oven for an hour and 15 minutes or until our bacon is done and crispy. So we'll be right back. Our bacon is getting there, but it's not quite crispy yet. And I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of juice underneath there, probably from the jalapenos and the bacon fat. So I'm gonna put these in for, I think, at least 15 minutes because we're cooking them on such a low temperature. So be right back. All right, we are at an hour and a half of cook time. I don't think the bacon is as crispy as I want it to be, and I think that's because I don't have a rack separating the bacon from the sheet. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pop these under the broiler just to crisp them up on top. But first, I'm going to sprinkle on some cheddar cheese. Maybe sprinkle was the wrong term. Maybe gently place a pinch of cheddar cheese on top of each jalapeno popper. And the cheese will get nice and golden under the broiler. Wow, look at those. So for thick cut bacon, you are going to need longer than an hour and 15 minutes. I did a total of an hour and a half, and then I put my jalapeno poppers under the broiler for 10 minutes. However your broiler is set up, it may take more or less time. But now my jalapeno poppers are all golden and delicious. Once your jalapeno poppers are done, place them on a large plate or something that you've put some paper towels on so that any extra grease can be absorbed. Super bacony. I'm not complaining about that. I'm gonna try the other half, which has a little less bacon to everything else ratio. I can't complain. Mine are not spicy, so if you're not big into spicy things, just make sure you get all those seeds and all that white membrane out. I will be sure to leave all of the ingredients and the instructions on how I made them down below in the description for you guys. And if you are looking for a spicy appetizer or just another appetizer to put on your menu, click here and check out my video for buffalo cauliflower wings.